So today we're going to do some machining work. Before we get started on the wiring again, maybe we'll get to wiring if we have time. But we're going to do some machining. So I'll show you guys. So here's our old panel. You notice any differences between the two other than the layout? Well, these have countersunk holes. Now, you don't need to countersink the holes, but it is an aesthetic choice. And I've decided to countersink them. So I have the tools to do it. Sund actually wouldn't do it because the aluminum is too thin, but I have a special tool and I have a piece of scrap metal that we're going to test our holes on. So we have number 8 and number 6 screws, and we're going to test and get it so we can countersink. But before we do that, I made a little bit of a mistake when I was cutting this panel. The holes don't line up. So I went ahead and tested the holes and they don't line up only on this panel. On the left panel, they line up just fine. And that's because I measured the offsets, but I forgot to apply them. So I have the lines in CAD, I just never applied them. So these holes are gonna have to be re-drilled. I'm gonna try to figure out something to cover up these old holes. I have some stickers I could use, but that'll probably look ugly. So I'm thinking about punching out my scrap metal piece, a couple of pieces of metal, and then putting them in there, and just so it looks a little bit more seamless. But we'll do that after. We have to re-drill the holes today. So first we're gonna re-drill the holes, and then we are going to countersink all of the holes on all of our panels. So let's get started. So I grabbed our drill bit and we are going to drill a 0.1770 hole. Now on this, because if you have an aesthetic surface like this, when we drill our holes, we drilled it from behind, so I didn't scratch it when I was doing the markings. But we want to actually drill from the front, the aesthetic side, so the burrs end up on the back side. So we drilled our pilot holes from the back to the front just for measurement, and we're gonna drill from the front to the back for aesthetics. So now we have those holes, it's gonna be pretty easy to see where we need to drill. All we need to do is just line it up such that we get our hole lined up on the drill bit. Oh, we don't fuck it up. Okay, so there are our re-drilled holes. Now we can start the countersinking process. So we're going to use a test piece first, obviously. And then after we get our test piece, we can start trying to do the real thing. So first we're going to countersink all the number 8 holes. Then we're going to countersink all the number 6 holes. Let's get to it. Okay, so I have our test piece here. This is the test piece that we're going to be using to test all of the countersinking we're going to do. So I have our test piece here. This is what we're going to use. I have 4 number 8 holes and some number 6 holes. So hopefully we can get it right by 4 times for each of these. But if not, we can always drill some more holes in this as needed. Let me show you guys what the countersink tool looks like. So here it is. Essentially how you use it is this pushes in by a certain amount, and you can adjust it by rotating this dial. And I need to see which dial you need to rotate. I'm not entirely sure, but essentially you push it here, you do a test cut, and you see how deep it goes. And based on how deep it goes, you take your screw that you already have and you test to see if it's a flush. If it's flush, then you're good. You tighten it up, you do all your holes. If it's not flush, you adjust it, and then you try again. So we're going to give that all a try. So let me go grab a screw and we're going to start testing it. So I totally didn't have to just look it up on YouTube. Essentially, to adjust this thing, you pull it and then you rotate it. You can see that this tool is recessing deeper and deeper into this tool. So I'm actually need to tighten it because I undid it just a little bit too much. And we'll see it just barely comes out there. We want it to, as closely as possible, match the actual counters. I've actually gotten it pretty close. We're gonna give that a try. You just attach it to your drill after you attach it to your drill, set it to drill mode. All you have to do is take your tool, press it in, and now we see our countersinking result. Here's the countersink. We want to see if it's flush or not. That's pretty close, but what you're supposed to do is do it until when you run a fingernail over it, it shouldn't really be catching. So that's pretty good, but just a little bit deeper, I think. Let's give the drill press a try. See how it does. Got our number 6, well, one that fits number 6. And now we can do the fun stuff, which is putting this bad boy in there, tightening it down, lifting this up, and doing our number 6 holes and seeing if we can get it to fit right. Wouldn't that be dandy? Here's the results of our work. That's the first panel. This is the second panel. And the third panel. Lots of countersinking, but now we can get back to doing wiring. Yay! I brought all of my stuff today. That is to say, my trunk is even more of a mess than usual because I brought all of the avionics, including all of the connectors that go into the back of the racks, so we can start putting those in place. Let's get to it. So before that, I've actually decided I'm gonna put the iPad mount in today onto the panel for no other reason other than fun. And hopefully, let's see, do all of our holes line up with the iPads in and out, be smoother. And then the charges here. So let's see if our holes line up. Man, yeah, that isn't cool. Check that out. That is a perfect fit. Always happy when things fit perfectly as they should, but I'm surprised how perfect of a fit it is. I gotta say, there's really no issues. This is the wiring for the USB-C, which should be 5 volts. So we can mount our 5-volt thing to it. And I ordered a fan. So they actually don't include a fan when you buy this, and they like to ask you $200 for it. It's actually a $3 fan, and you can order it on AliExpress for $3. I'm sure that the one they gave you is nice too, but I just ordered the exact one that you need, and we're gonna mount that and then wire that up. But for now, we can just screw this in for fun. It came luckily with some countersunk screws as well as some normal screws behind the container, and we have countersunk screws, so that is what we are going to use. Just gonna put this in place just for fun, just to have it. And my favorite thing about this is how it says VFR only, but honestly I use my iPad during IFR more than anything. It's great for loading up charts, all sorts of stuff, but they mean, you know, you're not supposed to use it to do approaches, i.e. you're not supposed to use it as a primary means of navigation. You're supposed to use your approved GPS unit. So yeah, let's just screw this in there where it's supposed to go. So let me double check. That counter could be a little bit deeper, but honestly, let me check. These are also number 6 screws, I believe. Yeah, I'm sort of tempted to just make this countersink a little bit deeper. I mean, I already have the number 6 tool over there, so I might as well just make it a tad deeper for these screws. All right, now I've gotten this installed, and let's look at going through and continuing our wiring job. I want to get at least 1 or 2 CAN bus splices done today, and I want to get all of the connectors on the back of the radio rack. So at the very least, let's accomplish that. I promised somebody I would be back before the sunset. I have a tendency to just stay out here very late sometimes. It's hard when you get you know, into it. But, yeah, let's get to it. Okay, let's get back to it. I finished my splice. Someone is going to tell me that I am way overcomplicating it, but I wanted to see what it'd be like to solder in a splice instead of using the crimping, because the crimping is a little bit annoying. I say the soldering is probably annoying, so my next one will probably just be normal crimped. But I do like soldering on the braid to connect the two. Something you could also do is just make a shaving here and then do that, but this way this entire thing stays completely grounded. So I do like that, and we are going to continue another day because it is just about sunset, and I'm ready to get out of here. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.